Today we have a pretty exciting product for us, exciting product line for pretty much anyone involved in detailing, foam cannons. This is the product that I think captures the most attention. These were really big a few years ago. We've implemented it into our process, and today we've got the Griots Garage from their Boss line. It is a foam cannon with a little bit of a difference. So I think what's really important to frame up here is for a foam cannon, there's a few key things that are really important. So number one, it produces good foam. Like, I think it's a prereq for a foam cannon. Then you've got some of the oddities for us. So I think number two, let me know, Glenn, if you disagree with me on any of this. Number two is that I want to be able to pour product into the bottle without spilling it everywhere. You've
got to get soap into the bottle somehow.
Correct.
If you've got a narrow neck on there, it's pointless.
It ends up a mess. So this product here has a relatively wide neck on it. The next thing that is important is that when I put the foam cannon on the ground, it doesn't fall over, especially if it has no weight in it. When I'm storing it back in the cabinet, I don't want this thing to be toppling over. So balance is really important. And then something that I didn't think was important until we got our hands on these was like a special feature. Now, special feature wise, think about some of the foam cannons that we already use. The only special feature about any of those is newly introduced to a lot of different foam cannons is like a weighted tube. So that way when you're using it on different angles, that weight ensures that you can collect the product from the bottom of it.
This one has that.
This one has that, but this one has something else. It has a metering system, which is something that I'm really excited to show you guys how it works. We've already been playing a bit this afternoon. This car's probably been foamed 4 or 5 times, but this has a metering system. So what we're going to do, we're going to unbox this, show you some of those features, and then talk about the metering system and show you how it works while we foam this car for like the 6 or 7
And I just want to add, what I really like about companies is that they add a little innovative step to a product that already exists. How are they adding more value to this? Well, Griots have come along and they've added a metering tip, which is that little bit of add value, a little bit of innovative design there to make something a little bit different, make their product stand out. And I think that's really fantastic from any company taking a very simple concept, maybe a product that already exists in the world, and making it that little bit better. And then, so I think that's really cool.
There's actually one other feature too, secret feature, but we'll cover it. It's a secret at the end.
Okay.
So this is actually the second one we've unboxed. I'm unboxing your one, Ben, so I know you like to treat the boxes with extra care.
Well,
so.
I'm just happy that we're making a video because it means I can take it home
and start playing.
Play with it in my own time.
Now, one of the best things about this is there's hardly any setup required. You take it out of the box, you've got your foam cannon pretty much assembled there. And then what you have in the box is literally just a plastic sleeve here, which has a little instruction manual. Can I rip this?
Sure.
Yeah. Oh no, I've made a real mess of that.
I have you?
Yep, sorry about that. You can have my manual if you need one.
I don't need a manual.
I don't think you need a manual, because I'm going to teach you all about this. So, what we've got in here, 3 things. So we've got a coupler, so a 1/4 inch male coupler, which we're going to install on this. That has our quick disconnect on the end. So we've also got a 1.1 millimeter orifice. Now we don't need to install that because inside the machine here, it's actually inscribed on the actual orifice itself. There's a 1.25, which operates really well with our pressure washer. But depending on,
and we're running a Karcher K4, and we're running, I don't know how many PSI, 2,200, something like that.
Advertises that, actual output's not anywhere close to that, but yeah, Karcher K4. And then you have probably the most exciting thing about this for us, the metering tips. So we've got 3 different metering tips in there, again, depending on what pressure washer you run. I think the purple is designed for electric pressure washers. Your pink one is for gas pressure washers, and then the aqua one is like the most, the one that's meant to produce the most foam. So we'll show you all 3 of those in action very shortly. But really, the only thing for us to do in order to get this set up is to install the coupler. Now I've just handed the cannon and I was going to say tools, it's just tool, over to Glenn, because this is your foam cannon, so I don't want to put any scratches on it.
It's nice that they've already put some.
It's already taped.
It's already taped on there.
It's just hand tighten it in there, and then we've got the spanner. Nice and easy.
Why'd you give me this and not like a socket?
That's what I had access to.
It's a bit ugly looking, isn't it, this old spanner you gave me? What is this, like your old man's or something?
Yeah, probably. We don't quite have our 10 tools set, do we?
What would have happened, you would have been like trying to like do a little build on your car or something back when you were 17 in your little Subaru that you had, and you would have been, oh damn, I've got a flat battery, and he would have given you this tool and you would have never given it back or something, eh? And that's how you ended up with this.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that because this is how I ended up with one of these from home.
Yeah, that definitely has come from my my dad. And we are literally
good to go.
ready to go.
So I'm just going to start right here. So we have got P&S Pearl soap in here. I've got 150 mils of soap to 600 mils of water. So we've got a total volume of 750 mils in here. There is no metering tip on here. And this is how we would typically use a foam cannon. We would do that mixture of product to water. We'd put it in our foam cannon. We have worked out that that's roughly what foams really well. And we typically use an MTM foam cannon. And we're going to spray the foam on and see what we get. So that's just how we would usually start. Then we'll put in some metering tips and we'll have a play around and see what we get. So straight out of the box, what you need to know is we have quick disconnects on here so that we can change our gun to foam cannon. We can change the gun to a lance or a different nozzle on the end of that. So that's super handy, and I really like that feature, short gun. Makes it nice and easy to use. On the top here, we have a dial. And what that dial is doing is it's altering the amount of water that's coming through the foam cannon with the amount of product that we're sucking out. That's going to be really important to generate nice thick foam, and typically it's going to be either one way or the other. I don't know what this one's set up, but it's either turned completely to the left or completely to the right. On the end here we have our fan settings, so we can have a nice narrow fan or we can have a nice wide fan, and if we keep turning it we can alter the direction of the fan, so we can have like a horizontal fan or we can have like a vertical fan.
Let's give this a go. So just reminder here, this is how we would typically use all of our other foam cannons, no metering tip. So as you can see, like really, really thick foam.
I mean, that's shaving cream, so that's kind of...
I mean, that's sitting foam.
That's going to give you good dwell time. So Glenn and I have already kind of worked out that we know that this sort of ratio works really well with our soap in a typical foam can like that. So we've kind of got really nice foam. So if you didn't want to use the metering tips and you just wanted to do your own, that's how we've got that. So what we're going to do, we're going to tip this out. We're going to put straight soap in here and we're going to have a play around with the metering tips and see what sort of metering tip we recommend with this pressure washer setup and this type of soap.
I mean, I look at this and I go, it's produced great foam. It probably already wins out on the other foam cannons that we're using, purely on the basis that we have a nice wide mouth, so we can actually put soap in there without spilling it. And we have the weighted tube, so it's on par, if not ahead of the other ones that we use, without even getting into
I think the weighted tube is really good because, you know, you can go on the angle. When your product's getting low, you can tilt it and you're still going to suck out soap and stuff. So huge kudos to that. So let's put those metering tips in and see what we get.
Okay, so the first metering tip we're going to use is the purple one, which is designed for electric pressure washers. All of these metering tips, if used with a correct pressure washer, should give you about a 20:1 ratio of your product. The way to install this, super simple. In the pickup tube, all you need to do is pop it in there, push it in nice and hard, and it just sits quite snug, so it's not going to fall out there in the bottom of that pickup tube. And what that is going to do is it's going to slow down the pickup of the product to get that dilution ratio without needing to mix with water. So what we've done, typically on a wash, we use 150 ml of soap. So we put 150 ml of soap in here. We will go around, foam the car, see what kind of foam we can produce and how much product is left once we're finished. All right, so we've gone around and foamed the whole car, and we still have about 100 millilitres of product left. So we've used 50 millilitres to work our way around the car. So that's a third of what we typically use if we had diluted it in a traditional form. And I think the foam it's created, like, still shaving foam like, we are getting really good runoff in some of the areas where we sprayed first. I think the quality of foam, I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, so what you want is you want pretty decent thick foam so that it clings to the surface, starts to break down that dirt and grime so the soap can do that emulsification. But at the same time, you also want that soap to sort of run down the panel so that it pulls the dirt off the surface and drops it onto the driveway.
Yeah.
So
and if you have a look around here,
you can see that on this side here. You can see how it started to do that. We're starting to see that soap running down the panel, taking all the dirt and grime and dumping it onto the driveway. So I think from the foam cannon point of view, this foam cannon has produced foam probably the same as any other foam cannon that we've used. So foaming is really good. I do like the metering tip, and it looks like we've started to use a third less product than what we typically use. So
which is a huge reduction. So we'll flick over to the next metering tip, rinse this car off, do it all over again.
Okay, so we've got the pink metering tip in here, which is designed for the gas pressure washer. We've got 100 mils of soap left in here. We're going to do exactly the same thing that you've already seen us do. Foam the whole car down, see how much product we use.
I think the foam it's producing is on par with what we've seen from that other metering tip.
Yeah, it's probably just a little less shaving cream-like, and it appears to be a little more blotchy.
Yeah, but I mean, it's very thick over here. And what you got to remember is this tip is not designed for the pressure washer we're using it for. We're just doing this purely out of curiosity around how much product we're going to use.
So we
about 50 mil.
Yep, about 50 mil. So again, we've used
the same amount.
50 mil of product. Yeah,
which
I would say that's about right.
Yeah, okay, that's quite interesting. So we're still using a third of the product.
One thing I am noticing that now that I'm having to measure the amount of product, just to tell you guys that this bottle is a hardened plastic, and it's not necessarily opaque, but it is a little hard to read the numbers on the side, especially when I'm filling this up. So, I mean, a clear bottle is quite nice. Like the MJJC is a clear bottle. It's really easy to see the amount of product. And so I just find that a little bit difficult.
Yeah, even if it just had like a
clear window.
A clear window, something in there that you could see.
But I mean, having this hard plastic that's a lot denser, I mean, is going to help with the longevity of the foam can, especially when you drop it on the driveway and bang it up, I suppose.
And onto the Aqua Tip now.
And this is going to produce maximum amount of foam in all pressure washers. I've filled it back up, so we've got 100 mils of pure soap, not diluted, so concentrate.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess that we're going to use 50 ml of product.
Probably. I think you might be right. Oh, did you get that on camera?
I did.
Nearly
Watch
killed
yourself.
Yeah.
It's producing great foam again.
Super thick, isn't it? That's real thick.
It's only just starting to run from here. But on that side we started, we are getting that nice runoff already. Right, how much product we used?
Maybe a little bit more on that setting.
You probably expect to because it's maximum foam setting, so it should be theoretically drawing a bit more product up.
I think there's probably maybe...
We had 100 in there. Let's measure it. Let's measure it.
Maybe 20 mils left.
Okay.
It's just all foam. You can't really tell. What do you reckon? 10 mils? 20 mils?
Let's have a look. Move your hand. We probably have, oh yeah, because it's probably about here-ish. So we're 50 here, about 10 mil. So that's probably used somewhere around 85 to 90 millilitres.
But I mean, did I completely measure 100 mils each time? No. Did I completely do the same amount of holding off the trigger and the same spray you did the first one, I did the last two? So no. I think each of the settings are going to produce and use about the same amount of soap. I think, yeah, I think it's pretty close. I don't think you can say one's going to use less than the other.
None of them perform terribly. I think if Griots had only included one of those metering tips in there, we'd be pretty happy and we'd use it.
And don't forget, like, you might get a different soap foaming experience based on your pressure washer, based on the type of soap that you use. Griots are probably going to recommend that you use their soap with their foam cannon and you use the tip specified to the type of pressure washer you've got. So if you do have varied results, maybe think about some of those variables. It might be the soap, might be the pressure washer, etc., etc.
Now, I promised at the start of the video there was an Easter egg. There was a special feature of this we'll show at the end. Now, what it is it's a dual threaded cap. So we've been screwing this onto the foam cannon using the outer ring on here. We have this thread on the inside. So what is that for, you may ask? Well, Griots have innovated again. This is one of their foaming products, so it's their foaming surface wash. The way they have designed this is that with a metering tip in here, we've got the purple. What you can do is you can simply open a brand new bottle of soap, drop it in there, and as you can see, it's perfectly threaded to attach onto the bottle. So now you are no longer using the foam cannon, you are using the Griots product in order to apply your foam, and I'll show you how this works. But it works pretty much the same as anything else we've just been doing. I think that's a pretty nifty feature on the foam cannon. So we've tried a few different combos here. We've tried this undiluted, how we typically use a foam cannon, and we've also tried all three metering tips. Now, what's important for a product to be the one that we choose above anything else that we can reach for in the cabinet? Number one, when a new product comes out, it has to be at least on par with what we're using. Now, the foam cannon by Griots produces great foam. It's on par in that respect. It has a weighted tube, which is on par to another option that we have in the cabinet there. And it has a wide mouth. Again, not a feature on all foam cannons, but it ticks that box. So I think those three things alone, the good foam, the weighted pickup tube, and the wide mouth, all put this foam cannon on par with the other options that we could lean on. What's different here is Griots have innovated. They have innovated with the pickup tube that you can go and add the metering tip to. And I think that innovation is why this is superior to any other foam cannon that we've tried. And we have tried a fair few of these. What I really like is that Griots innovated. They tried something new here. And as a result of it, we're actually using less product. So all three of those inserts that we used, the metering tips, used less product than what we would typically use if we weren't using it or on any of the other foam cannons. Now, which one did we choose? We've locked in the purple tip. We found that that was the recommendation for an electric pressure washer, but it also produced really good foam and used about 50 ml of product to get around the whole car. Now, keep in mind, your use case may differ depending on pressure washer, depending on soap, and obviously size of vehicle as well. So don't take it from us, 50 ml will get you around any vehicle with any soap, but those are the controls that we implemented into our test today. So that's really all there is to say. I think that we're gonna need to pick up a fair few more of these because we're gonna wanna switch to these for brake buster, for any type of pre-treatment we do as well. Griots did a great job matching the competition and then coming out and innovating with that one little feature. And sometimes that's all it takes to kick what we've already used, tried and tested off the shelf, and replace it with something like this. So this has made the cut to the Omni Garage product collection. So thank you so much for watching. We really enjoyed playing with this product today, and the great thing is we've got a lot more Griots products in that cabinet over there that we need to test out. So heaps more content coming soon. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. We do detailing content every single week, so stay tuned. Heaps more just like this.